Sometimes it seems like with all the repeating crime in our neighborhood and city, there is only a little hope for crime to reduce. When developing the city code for retailers, Chicago understood that neighbors need businesses to participate in community safety. The carefully written code obligates businesses to do this in consideration of the license to operate. The Break the Cycle initiative is conceptualized for neighbors to work with the Clark and Division Collaborative, other community safety groups, and hopefully the Chicago Police Department's 18th District Court Advocacy Group. We also intend to leverage the positive relationships we have developed with Jewel, CVS, Walgreens, and other retailers with agencies with a proven track record of helping decrease recidivism by offering critical wraparound services for people exiting the criminal justice system. The Break the Cycle initiative is described in this presentation using retail theft and the dangerous incidents that have been increasing as a focus. The main reason is these are locations where a crime can be measured and well documented. Please do not think this initiative will only focus on retail theft and incidents on and around the retail store premises. It is our launching point. Neighbors will not continue to accept repeat offenders' illegal activity in the stores or our neighborhood. We certainly want to get to the core issues, such as what has led an addict to steal, and help this person to change these circumstances and get assistance to overcome their addiction. However, while this important work is being done, we must have safer neighborhoods. Now, people that commit crimes must have some guidance before, though, and at the end of the court activity. We must call on the judge to deliver some impactful vector to help the individual and thereby the neighborhood. All too often, it is evident that the person is a threat to themselves and others, and more needs to be done in a coordinated manner. What is going on now is waiting for the offender to get worse, or God forbid, do worse. Allowing this cycling is not a neighborly thing to do for the offender, the retailers, or the neighborhood. The collaborative neighborhood lines need to be strengthened, which is why neighbors called for and required cooperation from businesses with the help of the Chicago Business and Consumer Protection Agency to improve the circumstances in and around CVS, Jewel, and Eduardo's. The Break the Cycle initiative is saying to businesses and residents alike, don't give up. We expect businesses to follow the city code. We have each other's back. We want to look out for retail staff and hope they will do so for neighbors. Our community is committed to working together on a plan to improve safety. We are asking the state's attorney's office to positively impact our neighborhood's day-to-day safety. We seek all of your participation in calling for and making impactful vectors for the repeat offenders who commit crimes in our neighborhood.
The plan is to engage the Cook County State's Attorney and the Public Defender as their cooperation is critical to the success of the Break the Cycle initiative. Together, they ought to influence the individual to move in a better direction by supporting the offer for services that the Break the Cycle court advocate would make the ASA and public defender aware of and encouraging the repeat offender to take advantage of this offer to help as they leave court or jail. As a bolt-on point, we ask the ASA and the public defender to take the time to make it well known to the individual that it is being noted by all parties the help being offered as a way out of the cycle. But their criminal activity must stop. First, let's talk about what steps have already been taken to break the cycle by neighbors, businesses, the Alderman's Office, Chicago Police 18th District Police, and the Business and Consumer Protection Agency. Walking through hand-to-hand drug deals all day long right in front of Jewel, having crack addicts let up right next to the Jewel Division Street entrance door after they buy drugs on the sidewalk, observing groups of addicts using the alley and Jewel alcoves next to the Sinclair as a drug living room and stolen goods distribution point was a circumstance that needed to be addressed. Chicago Clark and Division Collaborative organized a complaint represented by 5,000 people to the Chicago Business and Consumer Protection Agency. First, Jewel and then CVS were addressed because they were not calling 911. When they did, many times they refused to sign complaints, and even when they did, they would fail to appear in court, so the cases were dismissed. The cycle, which we are trying to break, elevates the Gold Coast along Division Street with proximity to the Red Line to a prime location to realize a built-in income stream for addicts who participate in repeated organized retail theft, stolen goods sales, and drug activity. We support the CPD and understand that much work must be done in this city and our neighborhood, and a lot of that work falls onto their shoulders. Still, collectively, we will need more of CPD's support. We ask that CPD 18th District communicate to all officers that Break the Cycle is being built in our neighborhood. Every officer on the 18th should know that our neighborhood expects neighbors and businesses to call 911, sign complaints, and go to court. We ask CPD CAPS to consider the following points to elevate the Break the Cycle initiative. Connecting beat integrity to break the cycle. We would call on CAPS to find a way to make the beat cops better informed about these individuals, as the repeater list is developed based on the complaints. These individuals are often arrestable when a squad drives by, but unless the officers have enough information, often no contact is made. Furnishing our beat cops with roll call update flyers, photos, victims' incident reports, copies of the neighbor and store letters of impact. A stated goal of the Break the Cycle initiative should be to engage well-known individuals before something more threatening or harmful occurs. We should not wait for something worse before fully engaging in these low-level incidents. One issue is that the retailer or neighborhood victim often cannot track or know the offender's court date after an arrest. Sometimes the court date changes, and following the case can be challenging unless the victim is contacted. The offender is not prosecuted if the victim does not go to court. The role of the Break the Cycle court advocate would be to obtain the court case number and use an online program called Vinalink to sign up for emails or texts that inform the advocate about any arrest or court activity for the person connected to the case number. The retailer will be asked if they want to be linked to the court activity notification that Vinalink makes. In addition, the Break the Cycle advocate would engage CAPS to approach the detective assigned to the case and request that the offender's other cases get put into the hands of one detective in anticipation of getting multiple complainants' cases stacked.
The many illegal acts relating to theft, threatening behavior, drug, and other deleterious activity on the Eduardo's, Jewel, CVS, and Sinclair premises, including the alleys, warranted public nuisance cases to be called for with the Chicago Business and Consumer Protection Agency. The addict needs drugs but has no money, so a local embedded gang expresses a list of items required, and the addict steals them from our neighborhood retail stores as soft targets and delivers the stolen goods to the gang member. Drug dealers or gang members pay the addict with drugs or cash in exchange for stolen goods to support their addiction or further the gang's activities. If the retailer and the neighborhood do nothing, the cycle becomes entrenched, as does the gang activity, and we can only blame ourselves for allowing this to continue. After the brief conflict when 5,000 represented neighbors complained to the corporations and developers by submitting the backed complaints, much appreciated collaboration was realized through the Business and Consumer Protection Agency process. With consistent reporting, CPD did a great job interrupting the open market drug and stolen goods market activity in front of and in the stores. The process involved Jewel and CVS corporate, and now Kevin Whitehead, their manager, is an authentic and well-appreciated neighborhood ally. Joe Rivera, the CVS manager, is fully engaged. Tom Sanini, the Walgreens manager, joins the other managers that support the Break the Cycle initiative. The expanded role that a court advocate may choose in implementing the Break the Cycle initiative could be one part of creating a consistent call to the prosecutor and public defender, and hopefully, the judge that they, too, must participate in breaking the cycle. What we can't do is allow repeat offenders to make a mockery of our criminal justice system. There is a compelling argument for expanding the role of the court advocate and implementing the Break the Cycle initiative. An analysis of arrest data in New York shows that few people committed new crimes while out on bail. However, the recidivists racked up the most arrests, and this is what Break the Cycle is focused on. Crime deterrence research demonstrates that harsher penalties do little to prevent crime. Instead, people are much more likely to respond to circumstances if they are likely to get caught and swiftly punished. The message of deterrence can be telegraphed to the small criminal rings embedded in our neighborhood with a consistent response by retailers calling 911, signing complaints, and going to court. The Break the Cycle initiative will impact our neighborhood quickly. Another focus the Break the Cycle initiative will work on is punishing the masterminds behind the crime rings who exploit the shoplifters. Stacking the low-level cases not just to have a more significant impact on the judge, but to leverage information could be another strategy neighbors can support. Neighbors would appeal to the CPD Organized Retail Theft Division to investigate these repeating unsafe events as continuing financial crimes and to seek out the ringleaders further. To get there, we need a consistent approach and strategy to mitigate the chaotic and unsafe situations retailers and neighbors face from repeating criminal acts. At a minimum, this approach will quickly signal to the well-informed criminal rings that this neighborhood is organized and proactive against crime.
What is called for is an out-of-the-box community policing safety plan connecting all stakeholders. In this initiative, neighbors reporting suspicious activity, retail theft, people sitting in vehicles, or driving around looking for opportunities to commit a crime, is increasingly vital. This helps to create a sense of community, gives people the power to act against crime in their neighborhoods, and plays a role in discouraging criminals from targeting our neighborhoods altogether. Neighbors need to express support to the retailers for their neighborhood collaborative work to break the cycle through working with CAPS and neighborhood community safety groups, including Clark and Division Collaborative. Utilization of the city's most significant court advocacy group and those members committed to the Break the Cycle initiative is at the center of the initiative. We intend to recruit 15 to 20 more court advocates to go to court to make it clear to the state's attorney, public defender, and hopefully, the judge that the Break the Cycle initiative needs to be assisted with impactful vectors. Those court advocates who decide to promote the Break the Cycle initiative would request the prosecutor to have the individual's cases stacked rather than have the multiple offenses heard at different times with less impactful outcomes. In advance of the case being heard, coordinate the delivery of victims' incident reports and neighborhood letters of impact to the assistant state's attorney and the public defender. Engage the state's attorney and the public defender to encourage their clients to work with a wraparound service agency we will have informed about the individual and the circumstances. The court advocate supporting the Break the Cycle initiative would be well informed about support and treatment vectors such as TASC or Treatment Alternative for Safer Communities, which offer practical strategies to reduce recidivism and balance treatment with accountability, public health with public safety, and investments with results. We also plan to seek the help and guidance of our newly elected 18th District Police Council Karen Kane, Bob Johnson, and Bradley Kessler to engage the state's attorney, public defender, and any other agencies that may play a role in reaching the objectives in Break the Cycle and call for them to participate in building out a robust plan to mitigate the repeating crimes in our neighborhood. The goal is not to lock the individuals up and throw away the key. We cannot accept the repeat offender leaving a police station, court, or jail, returning to our neighborhood, and repeating their criminal activity. Most repeat offenders are falling, not just slipping through the cracks, because the full impact of these individuals' actions is not being presented to the assistant state's attorney and the public defender. It is often argued that jail is not the right place for many convicted criminals. The Break the Cycle initiative attempts to get diversion approaches used for higher-level crimes also to be applied in the misdemeanor court. If this approach works on only a small number of repeat offenders, our neighborhood could see a noticeable improvement in our safety through a consistent approach to these individuals. Following the cases to be sure that cases are not dismissed because a complainant does not show up for court. Call for services to be offered to the offender and track if they are accepted. Make our position clear that impactful vectors must be applied. Please consider becoming a court advocate and supporting the Break the Cycle initiative. There is a 2-hour court advocacy training session. Court advocate Zoom meetings are scheduled every other month where new cases are offered and updates are given for the ongoing cases. We would estimate that the Break the Cycle initiative approach should take about 4 to 5 hours per case. Let's discuss what else can be done to mitigate the repeating criminal events and plan a community meeting to implement the Break the Cycle initiative. Thank you for your time.